I showed you this volume 2 of Sitaram Goelji's book, the Islamic evidence, so most of it comes from the Islamic authors. So that's something that their consistent behavior they cannot deny. And I have actually looked at their consistent behavior, and I written an article about the Sufis. Then I have quoted that.
Yes.
You can start their great Sufi, the Mujaddid al-Fisani, the Ahmad Sarindi, from there to their successors, his son, his grandson, who was the mentor of Aurangzeb. Starting from there, right down to these Abdul Rahim, Shah Waliullah, all those names that I took. Sayyid Ahmad, Iqbal, consistent. That's separatism, that exclusivism, that supremacism.
At which point did Sufi get associated with inclusivity and the kind of, because everybody just loves, whenever they talk about Islam, they talk about Sufism, and I don't know. I know you've covered this topic extensively, but I'm also curious as to how could something so something be so misunderstood, so
that's what's called propaganda. What else is propaganda? Just because they sing and dance, people think they're moderate. At least they should also try and translate what they're singing.
Just because
they don't do.
They're twirling, they seem to be like, very liberal and very...
The whirling dervishes, just because they whirl around, of course they are called kafirs by the Devbandis. That doesn't mean that they do not call you as a kafir. Basically, what has happened with the Sufis, because when they started out at that time, in 10th century or so, there was a huge conflict within Islam. And that was a time when these Shariat Walas actually won that contest. And till that point, there was definitely an inclusive chapter to the Sufism. If you look at what people do is that they will quote Rumi and they will quote some other ancient Sufi. At that time, the Tasawwuf, as it is called, Sufism, it's called Tasawwuf. So Tasawwuf was not subordinated to Shariat.
Okay.
So it is from that time that these people, when they do propaganda, then they talk about the 10th century. But they don't tell you that in the 11th century, a guy Sufi called Al-Ghazali came, which heralded the victory for the Asharis over the Mutazallis. They used to be at that time, the rationalists. And that victory ensured that Tasawwuf was firmly subordinated to Sharia.
Oh.
So once it has come under the Sharia, then there's the question. You're not different. That's what I ask everybody. Can a Sufi disregard Sharia? They will either not answer you or they will say yes. In either case, if they are subordinate to Sharia, then they are exactly like every other Ashraf Mullah Maulana.
Right.
If you see the history of massacres in the Indian subcontinent, all the great massacres were led by these Sufis. You look at the evidence I've given in Unbreaking India, that chapter I have written that all the great massacres, Malabar, that was a Qadri Sufi, this Abu Musliar, and that, what's his called, the other guy who established the Dawla, Al-Dawla. Dawla is an Islamic rule, Islamic kingdom.
So you're saying that
Kunj Ahmad, his name was Kunj Ahmad Haji. So Kunj Ahmad Haji and Ali Musliar, they were both Sufis, Qadri Sufis. Look at Noah Khali. What was Noah Khali? That was Nizami Chishti, Ali Sarwar, Hussain Sarwar. And look at all the killings that happened in Punjab. All these Sufi tariqas who were leading them. Look at the killing of the Gurus. That was Naqshbandi Chishti, this Ahmad Shah, Ahmad Sarindi. He was the one who inspired the killings of the gurus of the Sikh gurus.
Sikh gurus.
So all this is a complete hoax. Then look at the evidence afterwards. Who was Aurangzeb?
He also, I think, followed a Sufi.
Yes, so he followed the Naqshbandi tariqa. He was his peer murid. You know, you have this the guru disciple kind of a relationship, peer and murid. His peer was Muhammad Masoom, the son of Ahmad Shah, Sheikh Ahmad Sarindi. So Mian Masoom was his peer.
Aurangzeb's peer.
Aurangzeb's peer.
Right.
So he was actually initiated into the Naqshbandi Sufi Silsila. All these Abdul Rahim, Shah Waliullah, all of them followed the Sufi tariqas. So this is a complete hoax. Let not anybody be misled by these. There's only what is called, I think there's somebody made a very fine remark as a comment on one of my videos on Sufis. सूफियों में और बाकियों में फर्क इतना ये है कि वो गाना गा के आपकी गर्दन काटते हैं.
Correct.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.